I walked into exam room 4 like I always do. Clipboard in one hand, gloves in the other. Nothing seemed unusual, until I saw him. Valentine Bird. Tall. Clean-shaven. That kind of calm confidence people either admire, or fear. His chart said routine vitals. His eyes said something else. You ever meet someone and instantly feel like your instincts are trying to warn you, but you smile anyway? I smiled. I shouldn't have. He wasn't the kind of man you forget. But for all the wrong reasons. Backhand index pointing right. Be honest, have you ever felt off around someone, but couldn't explain why? Comment yes or no below. And if you're into real stories that hit deep, subscribe and tap like so you don't miss the next one. This was just the beginning. It was a Wednesday. Rain had been falling all morning, and the whole clinic smelled like wet scrubs and hand sanitizer. I was covering afternoon vitals when I saw the name Valentine Bird on my schedule. I didn't recognize it. Probably a new referral. The door creaked when I walked in. He was already on the exam table, gown on, legs crossed like he had nowhere better to be. Mr. Bird? I asked, giving the usual warm nurse voice. He looked up, not startled, just amused. Like he'd been waiting. Call me Valentine, he said, with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. People think working in healthcare makes you bulletproof to weird behavior. Nope. It just means you get better at pretending it doesn't rattle you. I did my thing. Checked his BP, logged his meds, took notes. But the whole time, he kept watching me, not in a curious way, more like he was reading something I didn't even know was written. And look, I've dealt with flirty patients before. It's whatever. But this felt different. Like he already expected something from me. Like I was a character in a movie he'd already cast. Alaric Anthony, the attending doctor, popped his head in at one point. Vitals good? He asked. All set, I replied, stepping back, grateful for the break in eye contact. Valentine just sat there, polite. Pleasant. Not a single wrong move. But that feeling in my gut wouldn't go away. 2 days later, his name showed up on my schedule again. Follow-up visit. Same exam room. Same time slot. Same nurse, me. I didn't request him. I never do. But there he was. Waiting again, that same cross-legged calm. This time, he greeted me first. Macy, right? I was hoping I'd see you again. I tried to keep it professional. Let's get you checked in. I hooked up his monitor and leaned in to adjust the cuff. Then it happened. His hand brushed against mine. No big deal, right? Happens all the time. But he didn't move it. Not right away. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't even obvious. But it lingered. Just long enough for me to question if I imagined it. I cleared my throat. Pulled my hand back. Focused on the monitor screen like it held the meaning of life. That was the moment I knew I had to be careful. Not scared. Not yet. Just careful. Then, right as I turned to grab the blood pressure chart. Knock knock. But it wasn't staff. And whoever was at that door wasn't supposed to be there. The door cracked open slowly, no knock this time. And there she was. Ariella Knox. Mid-40s, sharp cheekbones, black heels that didn't belong in a clinic, and eyes that scanned the room like a security camera. She wasn't wearing a badge. She wasn't holding a purse. Just confidence. Her gaze went straight to me. Then to Valentine. Then back to me. No words. Just silence thick enough to chew. Oh, can I help you? I asked, trying to keep my tone light. She smiled. The kind of smile you give when you already know the answer. I'm just here to check on my husband. She said it was slow. Like every syllable was meant to land hard. I felt my breath catch. Husband? Valentine Bird. The same man who let his fingers linger on mine like it was some kind of private game, was married. Of course he was. Valentine didn't look at her. He didn't even flinch. Just sat there, serene. Ariella's eyes flicked back to me again. No anger. No yelling. Just that cold, perfect calm. I'll be done here in a minute, I said quickly, stepping back. My hands suddenly felt useless, like I forgot what to do with them. Take your time, she said. But her tone didn't match her words. She was watching. She saw something. Or thought she did. After she left, the room felt like it lost all its oxygen. I avoided eye contact. Started wiping down the blood pressure cuff just to keep my hands moving. Then he spoke. She doesn't know what I really want. I froze. I didn't answer. Just kept my eyes on the counter. He let the silence stretch, like he wanted me to ask what he meant. But I didn't. And I wouldn't. All done here, I said, voice clipped, grabbing the chart and heading for the door. I didn't wait for him to say anything else. By the time I got to the nurse's station, my stomach was twisted into knots. I pulled Dana, our shift lead, aside. Hey, can you reassign someone else to exam room 4 next week? She blinked. Valentine Bird? I nodded. He's making me uncomfortable, I said carefully. I didn't want to go into detail. Not yet. Just needed some space. Dana frowned. We're short next week, Macy. I'll try, but no promises. I didn't argue. But inside, I was screaming. Why me? Why did he want me? And why did his wife walk in like she already knew something was off? That night, I sat in my car with the engine off for 15 minutes. Just staring at the steering wheel. Thinking about the look on Ariella's face. Thinking about the way he said, she doesn't know what I really want. It didn't sound like a joke. It didn't sound like flirting. It sounded like a warning. The next morning felt like any other. Paperwork, vitals, half-warm coffee from the break room. But as I checked in at the front desk, something small, folded, and slightly crumpled was sitting on the corner. This was left for you, the receptionist said casually, sliding it over. No envelope. Just a note. On the back of a prescription slip. I unfolded it. You're different. V. My stomach dropped. I didn't show it. I just smiled, nodded like it was nothing, and walked away fast. I told myself it was just a note. Creepy? Sure. But harmless. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that he'd planned it. That he stood right where I was standing and thought about what he wanted to say. And more importantly, who was watching me when I wasn't watching them. For the rest of the shift, I kept checking over my shoulder. In the hallway. In the break room. Even in the stairwell. I spotted him once, Valentine, standing by the exit near the vending machines. He didn't have an appointment that day. No chart. No wristband. He was just there. Watching. When he caught me looking, he didn't look away. He smiled. Like we had a secret. Like I was supposed to be in on something I never agreed to. I walked the long way around to get back to the station. Later, Dr. Alaric Anthony stopped me in passing. You good, Macy? You been kinda off today. I nodded too fast. Just tired. He paused like he didn't buy it, but let it go. Back in the staff room, I dropped my bag onto the bench and opened my locker. What I saw made me step back. Inside, tucked on top of my folded hoodie, was a black velvet box. Small. Deliberate. My hand started shaking before I even touched it. I looked around. No one else was in the room. Just me and that box. I opened it slowly. Inside was a necklace. Simple. Gold. With a small, silver charm in the shape of a heart. And taped underneath? Another note. This made me think of you. That was it. No name. No initials. But I didn't need them. I slammed the locker shut. My mind was racing. How did he get in here? Only staff had locker access. That room was locked during patient hours. I ran out to the front desk. Did Valentine Bird come in today? The receptionist checked. Nope. Not scheduled until Thursday. So how? How the hell did he do it? That night, I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined him standing in that locker room. Smiling. Watching. Like he was 10 steps ahead of me and I didn't even know I was playing a game. I kept replaying that note, "You're different." Different from what? From who? The next morning, I got up, put on my scrubs, and stared at myself in the mirror. "I'm a nurse," I whispered out loud. "I've seen worse. I can handle this." But even as I said it, I didn't believe it. It was already dark when I left the clinic that night. I was halfway to my car, digging through my bag for my keys, when I heard footsteps behind me. Not fast, not threatening. Just, deliberate. I turned, and there she was. Ariella Knox. Still pristine in heels, a black coat wrapped tight around her like armor. "You got a minute?" she asked, as if I had a choice. I nodded, barely. She stepped in closer, her voice low but sharp. "You're not the first." I blinked. "Excuse me?" She tilted her head. "He's done this before. Different places, different women. It always starts the same. A glance, a joke, a gift. And then?" She paused. "Then he gets bored. And when he gets bored, he destroys." I swallowed hard. "Why are you telling me this?" Her eyes didn't blink. "Because I know the look. The way you're starting to move around him. It's not about attraction, sweetheart. It's about fear." And with that, she turned and walked away. No goodbye. No warning. Just that message dropped like a grenade. The next morning, I'd had enough. The necklace. The locker. The hallway stairs. The notes. I sat at the nurse's station for a full hour with my finger hovering over the HR contact tab on my tablet. I kept telling myself, this isn't nothing. This is a man using power and proximity to wear me down. I was going to report him. That was the plan. Until he found me first. I was walking past the vending machines when he stepped out from behind the linen cart. "Valentine." "Macy," he said casually, like we were old friends catching up. I backed up a step. "I don't want to talk to you." He raised his hands. "Relax. I'm not here to cause trouble. Just wanted to clear the air." I said nothing. Kept my eyes on the hallway. Then his voice dropped. "You're going to HR, aren't you?" My jaw tightened. "You think they'll believe you over me?" He smiled. "I'm charming, remember?" I took another step back. "You've crossed a line, Valentine." He shrugged. "Maybe. But you didn't say no." That hit like a slap. My entire body went cold. "You think silence means consent?" He didn't answer. Just smiled again. Calm. Almost rehearsed. "You really want to risk your job? Your reputation? Against a patient?" He leaned in. "You'll lose. They always do." I walked away. Fast. Straight to the elevator. Straight to HR. My heart was pounding, but I felt clear. Focused. "This ends now." The receptionist directed me to the back office and asked me to wait. A few minutes later, the door opened. And standing there. Ariella Knox. Perfect posture. Perfect lipstick. And a smile like she already knew everything. "Come in, Macy," she said, stepping aside. "We have a lot to talk about." The HR office was quiet. Too quiet. No paperwork. No questions. No stern-faced rep with a clipboard. Just Ariella Knox. She sat across from me at the edge of the desk like she owned the place. Her coat was folded neatly beside her. Her red nails tapped once, just once, on the tabletop. I didn't sit. I stayed by the door. Heart racing. Arms crossed tight. "Why are you here?" I asked. She looked up. "To give you a choice." I laughed, short, bitter. "A choice?" She slid a plain black folder across the desk. It looked like something out of a legal drama. "Open it," she said. I hesitated. Then I did. Photos. Screenshots. Copies of emails. Medical center logos. Legal letterheads with signatures I didn't recognize. Different names. Different cities. All linked to Valentine Bird. Every page told the same story. Nurses. Therapists. Admins. Women in his orbit, just like me, who misread a look or overreacted to a touch. Some had taken settlements. Some had left their jobs. None had gone public. "He doesn't fall in love," she said quietly. "He hunts." I looked up. "So why stay married to him?" Her lips curled into something between pity and calculation. "Because if I leave him, everything burns. And I don't get to choose what's left." She stood. Walked slowly to her purse. Pulled something out and placed it in my hand. It was small. Matte black. Shaped like a car key fob. "Camera's in the front button," she said. "You press it once. It records everything. Sound. Video. Enough to sink him." I stared at it. It didn't feel like a weapon. But it was. "Why me?" I asked. She paused. Then walked back toward me. "Because you're smart. And you're still standing. That's rare." Her eyes softened just slightly. "I can't stop him alone. But we can." I left that room with the folder under one arm and the key fob in my scrub pocket. My mind was a tornado of panic and logic. What if I get caught? What if this backfires? What if she's setting me up? But then I remembered the locker. The necklace. The smirk. "You didn't say no." That was never about attraction. That was power. And I'd had enough of pretending I wasn't scared. Later that night, I sat on my bedroom floor, folder open again, key fob in front of me. The walls felt like they were closing in, and I couldn't tell if the buzz under my skin was anxiety or adrenaline. I picked up my phone. Texted Ariella. "I'll do it. But you promise me protection. Witnesses. If he tries anything, you back me." Her reply came in seconds. "Done." The plan was simple. One more visit. One more conversation. And this time, I wouldn't be alone. The HR office was quiet. Too quiet. No paperwork. No questions. No stern-faced rep with a clipboard. Just Ariella Knox. She sat across from me at the edge of the desk like she owned the place. Her coat was folded neatly beside her. Her red nails tapped once, just once, on the tabletop. I didn't sit. I stayed by the door. Heart racing. Arms crossed tight. "Why are you here?" I asked. She looked up. "To give you a choice." I laughed, short, bitter. "A choice?" She slid a plain black folder across the desk. It looked like something out of a legal drama. "Open it," she said. I hesitated. Then I did. Photos. Screenshots. Copies of emails. Medical center logos. Legal letterheads with signatures I didn't recognize. Different names. Different cities. All linked to Valentine Bird. Every page told the same story. Nurses. Therapists. Admins. Women in his orbit, just like me, who misread a look or overreacted to a touch. Some had taken settlements. Some had left their jobs. None had gone public. "He doesn't fall in love," she said quietly. "He hunts." I looked up. "So why stay married to him?" Her lips curled into something between pity and calculation. "Because if I leave him, everything burns. And I don't get to choose what's left." She stood. Walked slowly to her purse. Pulled something out and placed it in my hand. It was small. Matte black. Shaped like a car key fob. "Camera's in the front button," she said. "You press it once. It records everything. Sound. Video. Enough to sink him." I stared at it. It didn't feel like a weapon. But it was. "Why me?" I asked. She paused. Then walked back toward me. "Because you're smart. And you're still standing. That's rare." Her eyes softened just slightly. "I can't stop him alone. But we can." I left that room with the folder under one arm and the key fob in my scrub pocket. My mind was a tornado of panic and logic. What if I get caught? What if this backfires? What if she's setting me up? But then I remembered the locker. The necklace. The smirk. "You didn't say no." That was never about attraction. That was power. And I'd had enough of pretending I wasn't scared. Later that night, I sat on my bedroom floor, folder open again, key fob in front of me. The walls felt like they were closing in, and I couldn't tell if the buzz under my skin was anxiety or adrenaline. I picked up my phone. Texted Ariella. "I'll do it. But you promise me protection. Witnesses. If he tries anything, you back me." Her reply came in seconds. "Done." The plan was simple. One more visit. One more conversation. And this time, I wouldn't be alone. 3 days later, they came for him. Not in cuffs, not with sirens, but with paperwork. HR legal. A quiet escort out the side exit. Valentine Bird never said a word. He didn't argue. Didn't protest. Just kept that same forced calm until the elevator doors shut in front of him. And that was it. Harassment. Misconduct. Breach of patient-provider boundaries. The evidence was airtight. The story? No longer his to tell. Ariella filed for divorce the same afternoon. No press. No gossip. Just a clean cut and a smart attorney. When she saw me at the nurse's station the next week, she didn't say much. Just walked past, and placed the camera fob on the desk. "Thank you," she said softly. "For not looking away." HR called me the following Monday. They offered me a promotion. Lead nurse. Better pay. Administrative perks. Title bump. I smiled. And said no. I didn't want a desk. Didn't want a new badge or a fancier email signature. I just wanted peace. And maybe, the chance to breathe again. The necklace? I dropped it off at security. Didn't want to keep it. Didn't want to destroy it either. It's not my burden. People say working in healthcare makes you tough. But nobody talks about the quiet parts. The blurred lines. The slow creep of discomfort that turns into dread. Helping a patient should never come at the cost of your peace. But sometimes, it reveals the darkest truths hiding behind a smile.